Did you know that 90% of the world's millionaires invest in real estate? Well, I'm Angel with the Academy Presents Real Estate Investing Rocks, and I'm here to help you if you want to go for your piece of that pie.
But just to be able to save people from the uglier side that's pretty cool. Because most of us got into this because we want to help people.
Yes. The last short sale we just closed, that thing took, well, COVID slowed us down. It took about a year. It took a year and a half. COVID slowed us down. It cost us time. Excuse me. The loss mitigation departments were all empty and satellited out to their houses. Excuse me. It was a real mess. We went through 3 buyers. If you remember, during the early days of the pandemic, there was a ton of fear in the market. There weren't any buyers. All you had was cancellations, right? So we went through all that, and then we finally got it done. We closed it 2 months ago, I think, and the seller was overwhelmingly happy. Gave me the most glowing, one of the best thank you letters that I've got in my career. So it is nice. That's the positive thing. The sellers are happy. They get to walk out of their house with their head held up high. They did not go to foreclosure. As far as the world knows, unless somebody talks in their neighborhood, they sold their house through normal channels. Okay. So they go to the title company, they close normally, they sign the normal docs. There's just some short sale disclosures and requirements from the lender they have to sign, arm's length affidavits to make sure they're not, excuse me, selling it to their son and getting it back and that kind of stuff, or a family member. There's things like that, but otherwise, as far as the world knows, they sold it. They move out. The buyer's moving truck moves in, and that's it. And the buyer loves it too because the buyer gets a good deal. On average, the lender will sell a short sale 17% less than they will if it's a bank REO or repo. Because when a lender takes the property back, they have a lot of costs and a lot of carry costs. So they gotta pay the attorneys to foreclose. They gotta evict. They gotta go in there and clean it up. And they're doing rehabs, basic rehabs back in the last cycle. And they're gonna have to every month they have to pay a property preservation company to go out there, mow the lawn, check on the house, check on occupancy, make sure there's no squatters in there, no vandalism. They lose a lot of money in these things. And also, however much money was tied up in that deal, they have to set aside in reserves. They can't lend that amount of money. Say it's 100 grand. That's 100 grand less than that particular lender can lend. So it costs them. It's opportunity costs, it's carrying costs, it's all that. So they're willing to give a better discount on the front end before they go through all that. You know, most of the time, short sales better than a bank repo.
Well, banks don't want to be in real estate. That's
correct. They do not. I mean, if you and I had a choice of being bankers or investors, we'd pick bankers. It's a lot easier.
I'd probably do both.
well, yeah, if we had the money, bankers, but we got to live in the world of the real.
Yeah. So, you said something really kind of interesting there, because you said that they have to keep the cost in reserves.
Yeah, excuse me.
So for people that don't know, we have it's a fractional banking system, which means if someone deposits $100,000, they only have to keep say it's 10%.
10 grand.
They only have to keep 10 grand on hand, and they can loan out the other 90.
Yeah.
So that's why I found it really interesting when you said they have to hold on to it and can't lend it.
Well, that was the last cycle. I don't know what they're going to do now. That was the way the rules ran last round. We'll see what happens this time. We're in a whole brave new world. We really, I try to make predictions, prognostications of what's coming and all that. And so far, you haven't been able to this year. I mean, I need to, I would have written my business plan for 2021 by now, but I just don't, I'm not sure yet, I'm not sure.
Well, and there's wasting, I don't want to say wasting time on that, but time is money. And if you spend a lot of time planning right now and you have to change it next week, then it was just a waste. It was a complete and total loss.
And that's endemic with the investor world right now. We're, the seasoned investors, the savvy investors are really super cautious right now. Okay. The guys like the old salts like me that have been around a while, we're backing off. We're waiting to see what's going on. Right. That's the smart, prudent thing to do. The only ones that are making bank right now are loan officers and realtors, and the top producing ones. Okay, because there's only so many. This inventory is very tight right now. So the guys that hustle that are realtors and loan officers, they're making money. The loan officers are doing the best. The loan officers doing the best because they've been going through refi mania.
Oh yeah,
it's in the twos.
Yeah.
History of mankind, right? Pretty much. So those that that's the business. If I could have had a crystal ball a year ago, making loans would be the right way to go.
Yeah. I mean, we were kind of crying a little bit because we went commercial on the small portfolio we just bought, and it's easier, but you pay for that. And as we saw interest rates 4%, 3%, 2%, under 2%, we were just like, oh, maybe we should have tried to do traditional.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, nobody, I mean, I've been doing this. I did my first real estate. I closed my first small land development deal in 1988. Okay. Got right out of the Army. I didn't know any better. I got lucky. I kind of stumbled into being an investor and then later a broker. I made more money on that one deal in 12 months than I did my entire salary for that year.
Wow.
That was in Southern California. So I guess what I'm getting at is I've been around a long time doing this, and it's real difficult to predict what to do. I'm having a hard time.
Yeah. Well, I know we backed off because we didn't really know what to do. And we bought our first rental in 2003.
Yeah.
We lived in it while Jason was finishing up his degree.
Yeah.
So we bought it knowing this is going to be our rental.
Yeah.
And so we knew we were getting in 2003. And so we've been in it for, 17 years, and
you're seasoned. Yeah. You've seen a lot.
But we're still kind of like, and then it's like, you don't want to just hold your cash because you might spend it or it loses value, but you have to have some level of liquidity. And it's a scary time.
It isn't just this time around, for the first time in my life, it isn't just economic uncertainty. It's political uncertainty. It's social unrest uncertainty. There's a lot of factors that have never played before since the 1930s, really, when it was a lot of social and economic and political turmoil back then. So we haven't, even in the 60s and 70s, which were tumultuous, the economic and financial situation was more stable. I mean, until you hit the mid 70s and it got bad, but this is unprecedented, what we're going through. An abundance of caution will, I think, pay off. If you see a great deal, go for it, but don't be eager to do something right now. Wait and see where the dust settles. Be my advice.
Yeah. Well, I know I have friends that are just like, blood's in the streets. We need to be getting after it. And I'm like, oh, I don't think
blood's not there yet.
I don't think we bottomed yet.
No, we haven't even started. The process has started. The process started before this year. There are already signs of weakness before 2020. Okay, and it was masked by lowering interest rates, goosing the economy. I won't get into too much in the weeds on that, but there was already, already some signs back then. And now with the coronavirus, there has been deep structural damage to the economy. And now, has Trump done a great job and helping us get the jobs back he could? Yes, he has. But again, we're in a very tumultuous political and social point in our history. So there's a lot of curveballs that weren't there back when I was cutting my teeth in the market in the 90s. The only problem I had to worry about back then was the economic.
Yeah, and there's so many false things going on.
Yes.
And I think when I try to explain that, people kind of look at me like, what? False? What? But I think like the stimulus payments and all of those things, those are false. It's not.
It's a Band-Aid.
It's not real money. It's not something that's actually, it's not a real economic effect, because
it's not going to solve the problems. It's not going to solve our problems. It's a Band-Aid to get us through 30, 60 days, depending on how people spend.
Yeah. And my thought at first was the dollar is just going to fall. It's not going to be worth anything. And I was listening to another economist, and he was saying that really it's more of a wash, because companies aren't purchasing and people aren't purchasing.
Yeah, they pulled back.
There's not a whole lot of money being turned out there. And so the stimulus payment really is more of a wash than actually putting more money in the economy.
I just read a great article last week about how Americans have not just cut back on their spending, but they paid down their debt. And that's a smart thing to do. This is opposite of what the central bankers want, right? They want us to keep spending, keep accruing more debt. But the American public has been so, rightfully so, scared by this whole situation. You got the virus, you got riots, you got political uncertainty, you got election irregularities, you got all kinds of a witch's brew of things coming. So getting back to Realityville for us as investors, caution, the blood's not in the streets, but the process has started. Just be cautious. The moratorium has to be lifted on the foreclosures. It's going to be heartbreaking to see, but it's reality. It is what it is. That has to happen before you can start planning anything.
Yeah, well, and the general public, I don't think they understand.
Yeah.
Because like I have a friend down the street that I was explaining to him, like, people aren't paying their rent, but it's still due. So no, you can't evict them, but 6 months from now, they're going to owe thousands upon thousands of dollars if they want to stay in those apartments.
Yes.
They want to stay wherever they're living. And he was like, what? No, it canceled rent. I'm like, no, it did not cancel rent. But it's like just society in general. I don't think they understand that.
Yeah.
So like my friends that have multifamily, they did an excellent job of going and educating their residents about the process. And then when there was rent assistance programs, they made sure that their residents knew about those.
I did that too.
And it's been really helpful. But I think that so many people forget that they need to be educating.
Yes.
Because not everybody is sitting with the same education and with the same experiences that, we have as investors.
There is a fine line as a landlord of educating and cutting your own throat. So. Yeah.
But like, it's been scary. It's just been scary for us because we think about, like, we've got some single families, and single families don't mitigate their vacancy risk very well.
No.
When it's vacant, it's 100% vacant.
Yes, it is.
And so that can be a little scary.
Yeah. Well, it's all risk. We're all, we're in a unique environment.
Yeah, it's but they are doing evictions here. I don't know how it's working in other states, but or even other towns, but
we're all under the same.
Said that they were still evicting.
We're under the same federal laws.
Okay.
Depends on what kind of loan they have on the property. If they're multifamily, most likely it's not going to be a federally backed loan, but there are some out there, you know. So there's Fannie and Freddie make multifamily loans. Mm-hmm. They're probably got loans with, commercial banks, mm-hmm. not federally backed. On a house, almost going to guarantee it's going to have a federally backed loan.
Oh no!
So they can't evict.
So if it's a commercial, wait, no, I've got it backwards. So if it's a commercial loan, then it's
they can't
more
evict.
likely that you can evict.
Yes.
Oh, so we made a smart move. Okay.
Did you buy an apartment?
No, we got a small portfolio and we did with a commercial loan.
Okay, it's not Freddie and Fannie.
Mm. Okay, but I had it backwards in my head. I was like, wait a second, because these are like Class C properties, and so
check your loan. Just go back and check your loan docs. It'll tell you who the investor is. Yeah. Is it, if it's you might have gone to did you go to a local bank? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be their own portfolio loan. It's not backed by the government in one way or another. So you're probably okay.
That's just like my little mini heart attack over here.
Aren't you glad we had this
in my head? I was like, wait a second.
Aren't you glad we had this talk?
I am actually. So, and I just, I don't know what's going to happen. None of us do, but I want to provide our community and our audience with as many options as I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make it through.
Yes.
Now,
be challenging. There will be a time. Right now, there's too much money chasing too few deals. It will flip. There'll be too many deals and not enough money. Those with the cash, those with the lines of credit are going to be kings of the hill.
Wow. And I think that happened in the late 70s, early 80s too.
It happens every cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because my grandparents were able to get in the late 70s, early 80s, and they weren't super educated. They hadn't been, investors before, but they had some cash. And so they were able to buy their first quadplex, and it grew from there.
Donald Trump bought his first properties in 1975. If you read his book, Art of the Deal, New York City was bankrupt. Okay. And iconic large high rises were basically empty and in tatters. And he went and bought those things for pennies on a dollar. That's how he got his start at the bottom of that recession in New York City. And that's how every major real estate gal has done it. Timing's everything. You don't want to be loading up with inventory right now. Just wait. It's waiting is a good thing. We just need to see how this whole moratorium business shakes out.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like with all the changes that are potentially occurring with cost segregations, and like the 1031 exchange, like there's been a lot of talk about it's going away. And
1031, really?
Yeah, that's what I heard, that it was going away with the next
yes. Next Congress.
Well, if
you know what,
on who fills the White House.
I get it. Well,
the 1031 would go away.
Congress has proven that they are not our friends.
Which is so weird because so many of them are investors.
Well, I'm going to stay out of the political weeds here, but they just proved that they weren't looking out for, the average American with the stimulus check thing, because they were going to give us a paltry $600, send billions overseas. And then, when Trump came back and said, no, we need $2,000 each person who's struggling. So we know which, they've got their lobbyists and their special interest groups that they're answering to. And we just had a raw and naked example of it. So, well, getting back to point, when your investors, the people you network with or you, come across a negative equity deal, give us a call. You've got my office number, I think, or my contact info. I'll get it to you. And they can send us a deal. And when we process this thing, they will be the ones that we contact and we say, here's what the price, terms, and conditions. And they will get in there and they'll buy that property into the pricing that they're looking for. So instead of them trying to figure it out or getting a realtor that's never done one before.
Did you say that you can do them in commercial too?
I have not done a commercial workout. That's what they're called over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different kettle of fish. Yeah. Commercial workouts are traditionally, nowadays, they were done by commercial brokers, but I'm seeing them more and more being done, especially in Texas, by attorneys who specialize in this kind of work. So I'm a residential guy.
Wow. Yeah, but anyway, guys, if you are wanting someone that can help you out with that short sale, this is the guy. And he just explains it really well. And the best explanation I had ever heard. So for whatever that's worth, just thank you, John, for being a part of this for me and for coming on one of our episodes and sharing your knowledge with our community. And I hope you have been having a wonderful holiday season and you continue to have a great new year.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity and I wish you and your audience good health and prosperity in 2021.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. I will see you next time.